Hello, this is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here to rip to shreds Mikhail Pletnev's atrocious Beethoven recordings, as a conductor, that is, his symphony cycle. Now, this was an epic failure, and the reason is actually pretty clear. It's very interesting. Pletnev's evolution as a conductor has been very easy to follow on disc. Initially, aside from a couple works that he knew really well and felt and was able to convey something about, such as Tchaikovsky's Patatique Symphony, which he originally recorded for Virgin. Remember that? Everyone was excited. Then he did the rest of them. Not so excited. He is a pianist of great talent and extreme willfulness, sometimes amounting to perversity. And translating that to the podium is very difficult. It really takes a lot of practice and experience, which he didn't have initially. Well, now he does. And the result is absolutely grotesque in orchestral music. In a way, he's become a better conductor, but that's only because he's able to convey his wishes as a completely demented interpreter to the corporate body of the orchestra. And his Beethoven cycle was an extreme case in point. He was never known really as a Beethoven pianist anyway. So, not that he doesn't do it, every pianist does it, right? So in his cycle of Beethoven symphonies, he just lets his imagination run riot, proving once and for all that musicians, however gifted they are, just may not be the smartest and most tasteful people in the room at any given time. So this particular disc contains symphonies numbers 6 and 8. Now, his pastoral is an atrocity, the likes of which it's kind of difficult to describe. But let me see if I can encapsulate just sort of the main elements, all right? The first movement begins with an introduction. Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't have an introduction, does it? Well, it does now. What it does is da-dum ba ba da da dum bum ba da 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 da. Ba-dum ba bum ba-da-dum ba ba da 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 dum ba-da-dum bum ba da 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 dum ba-da-dum bum ba-da-dum bum ba-da-dum bum ba. Get it? It's horrific. And at the end of the exposition, it does da-da-dum ba-da-dum ba-da-da da-da-dum ba-da-dum ba-da-da da 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 dum ba-da-bum 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 ba-da-bum. Da dum ba ba da da dum bum ba da 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 da. You think I'm exaggerating? Play it for yourself. I am not kidding. Now, the slow movement takes about 10 minutes. It's a very quick scene by the brook. It's really more like Lunch Hour by the brook. They got to finish and then get back to the office. The scherzo is completely mechanical. One thing that Pletnev really does not have is the ability to express human emotion in music. He can futz with it back and forth and play around with it a lot, but music that requires, for example, joy, forget it. This is a guy with no sense of humor. And Beethoven, of course, had a cosmic sense of humor. Now, the Thunderstorm is very interesting. It has like nasty brass chords, but nothing else. There's like the thunder, blah, and the strings go bum-ba-dum, bum-ba-dum. But well, you don't hear any strings. All you hear is blah, blah, blah. That's the storm. And then you have the finale, which begins with, the shepherd piping. Well, this shepherd, I think, probably took some tranquilizers. It begins sort of like the first movement with da bum da da bum da da bum ba ba bum ba. Then the horn does the same thing. It seems like it's never going to happen. And then once it gets started, it makes this accelerando and sort of does what the first movement does with all this, futzing in the middle, in between. It's just ridiculous. And it's amazing, one of the reasons these things are all getting issued separately is because the set as a box was like such an epic failure. And they kind of figure, well, maybe they'll do better selling them individually. Lots of luck. Now, the Eighth Symphony, that's one of those pieces. It's a little tricky to do well. It's kind of one giant tutti, and you have to find where the tunes go. And Pletnev isn't as big a disaster there as he is in the Sixth because there's less to do, because everyone's sort of playing all the time. He does do that awful diminuendo on the opening phrase, which Beethoven doesn't mark. Da 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 da. Just totally wrong. Totally wrong. And he misses all of the climaxes. That's what's so strange. When it really gets hopping in the middle of the development section, that huge climax, the greatest dominant preparation in all of music, running up to the recap, it just seems to lose tension and lose energy. The second movement goes well because it's purely mechanical and rhythm. And when you have to do mechanical, Pletnev is really good. He's very mechanical. The minuet has none of that jolly sort of pomposity. It's just too fast. It's da 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 ba da 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 bum ba. I mean, obviously Pletnev doesn't like it. And the finale starts out like really fast, but again, it's just labored. It's labored because he doesn't allow the orchestra to really play in the strongly rhythmic passages. The explosive tutis and the transitional passages. There's just no tension and no energy there in spite of the tempo. So essentially what we have is one disc of really, really wretched Beethoven. It just sucks in every possible way. The orchestra, they play basically pretty well, but the guy in charge has definitely got to get his head examined. I mean, it's not Beethoven. It's not imaginative. There's plenty of crazy, willful Beethoven out there, but this is just tasteless. It's just bad. So, I'm really looking forward to talking to you about the other atrocious recordings in this series as they come out, that is, as I get them, because really this is something that can't possibly be dismissed often enough. It's just ridiculous that artists are able to get away with this stuff on a major label. Back in the day when they had very strong personalities as record producers, this sort of thing could hardly ever happen. I mean, there were uninteresting performances, but at least they weren't stupid performances. And these are stupid performances. So keep on listening, folks. There's more to come. Thank you.